The Phantom of the Opera description. The Phantom of the Opera is a very famous musical. It started out as a book by Gaston Leroux in 1910, been through a 1925 silent version, after that going through a 1943 first talking version, and a mini-series in 1965. But today, we are looking at the Andrew Lloyd Webber musical of Phantom of the Opera, which opened up to Broadway in 1986, and its CD of the original cast recording released in 1987. Today, that's the version we'll be looking at, and here is all you need to know about it. The Phantom starts as a prologue in 1807, where the Vicomte Raoul de Chagny is at an auction. After the prologue, we have an overture, and then a rehearsal of the opera's production of Hannibal, in which La Carlotta Giudicelli sings the lead. The rehearsal is interrupted by the two retiring managers, who would be replaced by Monsieur Firmin and Monsieur André, who would be taking over the opera house. The new managers asked La Carlotta Giudicelli, the prima donna, to sing them an aria from Act 3 of the production. As Carlotta was singing, a set piece fell on her head. In diva fashion, Carlotta left the stage and left the managers worried. They ended up letting the Swedish girl, Christine Daae, sing it, and she was applauded with great triumph. Meg Giry, her ballet friend, asked her who her tutor was, and she said the angel of music was tutoring her. She believed that her father sent the angel of music when she died. When Raoul came in and him and Christine were looking back at the memories they had as children, he asked her to supper, but Christine refused. When she was left alone for a few minutes, the angel of music appeared and took her through the mirror, where he proceeded to hypnotize her. The next morning, Christine wakes up to the Phantom playing the organ and recalls upon the night before. She wondered about the face behind the mask and walked to the Phantom and ripped it off his face. The Phantom cursed her, and she gave the mask back. At the manager's office, Firmin and André were getting really weird notes with the address of OG. They found out that Raoul, Carlotta's lover, the tenor Ubaldo Piangi, were also getting notes. The Phantom demanded 3 of the following. One, return his box. 2. In the production of Il Muto, the managers were to cast Christine for the pleading role and Carlotta as the page boy. Number 3. Make sure his demands were met, or a disaster beyond their imagination would occur. The managers ignored and begged Carlotta to come back. She would play the lead. In Il Muto, Carlotta was hitting her high notes, when all of a sudden, the Phantom interrupted the performance because his box was not kept empty. That box was box 5. So as a consequence, he made Carlotta sound like a toad. "Behold," he said, "she is singing to bring down the chandelier." Then he hung the scene shifter, Joseph Bouquet, on the 3rd floor cellar. Christine and Raoul go to the roof, where Raoul tries to persuade Christine that there is no Phantom of the Opera and that he'd help her. The Phantom heard that Christine was giving herself to Raoul from overhearing their conversation and was extremely upset with her. He said she would curse the day she disobeyed him and bestowed her heart to someone else. 6 months later, the whole opera was having a party. The Phantom had not bothered them for all that time, but in the masked ball, he interrupts the party with a new set of demands. He had a whole new opera for them, Don Juan Triumphant. Raoul ran to Madame Giry and demanded her to tell him all she knew. She didn't want to at first, but Raoul insisted, so she did. She explained that she found Eric, the Phantom, on display at a freak show in a traveling fair. The managers were discussing on how to get rid of the opera ghost, and they gave Christine the leading role. Christine said through tears how frightened she was to Raoul. Raoul tried to assure her, but she still ran off in tears. And then she wouldn't do it. And said she wouldn't do it. She ends up doing it anyways. In rehearsal, Piangi wasn't singing right because the pianist was not playing the piano accordingly. As a result, the Phantom possesses the piano, so they all sing right. In the performance, the Phantom kills Piangi during his turn and replaces him with himself. He sings Christine the point of no return and forcibly puts a ring on her finger and proposes to her in front of the whole audience that was listening to the show. Then he kidnaps her to his lair again. Raoul and the Phantom get in an argument over her, and Christine angrily tells him that he is a false friend. But willing to show compassion to him, she kissed him twice. The Phantom tells them to go, and they leave him sad and miserable. Christine suddenly turns, only to give the ring back that he'd placed on her finger before. That is all you need to know about the Phantom of the Opera. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe. Bye!
7 minutes. Stop recording.